Here's another thing that I heard about happen here in Louisville, Kentucky, Brian, and I just wanted to let the people know about. This was the greatest thing I've ever seen on the local news a couple days ago. Actually made me giggle in my moments of trials and tribulations. There is a pediatrician in this town and they showed the outside of her clinic, and it was like a Kids R Us, Toys R Us kind of thing. Kids R Us, Toys R Us kind of writing on the kids' clinic or whatever the name of it was.
Well, Kids R Us was a thing too. That was like a kids' clothing store.
Okay, well, maybe I've seen it, but the point is, the kind of kiddie type writing across the front, hello, kids' clinic or whatever, or the name of their place. And it looked it could have passed for a daycare center, right? They're really catering to the children. I guess you could be a pediatrician and treat people up to the age of 16 or 18, but they're going for the younger audience at this clinic. It looked like from their front door, right? And this pediatrician, and I saw the initial start of this case, but now it's been resolved, we think, but this pediatrician was just sent to prison. This woman looks like she's in her 40s, I guess, for hiring a hitman to kill her husband while she was operating at or working at or part of this fucking kids' medical clinic. And the way that this unfolded was that people started noticing that something was awry when she started asking people she worked with at the medical clinic if they knew anybody that might be able to kill her husband for her.
Just out in the open.
That raised the first suspicion.
Hey, I was thinking, if you could pass those fries. Do you know anyone that could kill my husband? Like, how do you ask multiple people that?
But the report, she began asking people that she worked, hey, anybody that might be able to kill my husband for me? And they're like, no, we really don't know anything about that. And so then apparently, now that the whole thing has come out and then they've had the court case and trial and the whole 9 yards, apparently then she started looking online. There was some mention of she was looking for a witch doctor that could cast a death spell. So she's like making up code at first, maybe.
So she's obviously a genius.
But then she finally finds somebody and say, yeah, I'll do it for like $7,500, I think. So again, your deal, because I would think you'd need to pay a significant amount more to have a really professional operation come in and take care of it. But she made up some more code language to get this guy to. But this guy, because of apparently the noise that she had made already, this guy that agreed to do it turned out to be an FBI informant. He said, yeah, I'll do it, lady. Let's work this out. And she works it out with the fucking FBI informant to hire him to kill her husband. And then they hauled her into the Crossbar Hotel, as Bill Watts used to say, and put a case together against her. And they've gone to trial, and she was said, I think the sentence was 12 years or whatever. But at least the story has somewhat of a happy ending, because, Brian, guess what the first thing she did when she got in jail was?
I don't know.
She started asking her other inmates if they knew anybody could kill her husband for her.
Stop it. Come on.
They reported this on the goddamn local news.
That's amazing.
So her husband's still a little nervous, even with her in jail for 12 years.
Nervous, and you can understand why, but can you also imagine how bad it must hurt? It's not just your wife wanted you dead. The cops come, they talk to you, they tell you what's going on. And how much did she offer to pay them? $100,000? No. $50,000? No. Did she offer him jewelry or anything from the kitchen? No. $7,500. $7,500.
Well, see, it's all his fault. He should have been more successful and given her a bigger household budget. But anyway, so
Hey, nice to meet you. You don't want to kill my husband.
yeah.
As soon as she gets to prison, it doesn't stop.
And they had her lawyer was on camera, right? They asked, "Does this?" I can't remember what the woman said, but does this woman, Doctor Chaos here? Do you think she needs some type of counseling or psychological evaluation, whatever, some work done here? And the guy says, "Oh yeah, I think that yes, after everything that she's been through with this arrest and trial and what she's looking at in the Fiesta, she definitely needs some overlooking the. She apparently didn't need any when she was asking everybody in town if they knew anybody would kill her husband for her."
How you doing, Susie? Just can't find a good hitman these days. You know anyone?
Fred never asked for a second cup of coffee. Would you like to put a bullet in his brain?
There's some crazy people out there.
And one more thing I got to bring you up to date on. It's a sad update. And it's just a quick little story here that you can't even rest in peace anymore. Yeah, Brian, when I bring up the name Denny Crum, you know who I'm talking about. We've talked about him many times.
Yes.
You just can't elaborate on who. I'll tell everybody who he is again, in case you've forgotten. A Hall of Fame basketball coach with the University of Louisville for 30 years, one of the winningest coaches of all time, protege of the legendary John Wooden at UCLA, a beloved, probably the most popular man in the city of Louisville throughout his life and over his retirement, the last 20 whatever fucking years, passed away last year. We talked about it. And now they just did an update, a news story again. They went to the cemetery and they're down the row and to the left from the monument. That's what the rich and famous folks call a tombstone, but the monument of Muhammad Ali and across the field, as they might say, from Colonel Harlan Sanders in a dignified place of honor in Louisville, Kentucky, is Denny Crum, and he's got a big hole with concrete filled in it and nothing on top of it. Guess where Denny Crum's tombstone is?
I don't know. We talked about this a while ago. We talked about him.
No,
passing,
we talked about him passed away, but guess where his tombstone is? We know where Denny is. He's the same place he's been for quite a while now. Probably not really going to be a world traveler from this point, but guess where his tombstone is?
I have no idea.
At the bottom of the Red Sea.
That was going to be my second guess.
At the bottom of the Red Sea. And what apparently, and I know this to be true because same for my mom and dad's that I had made, the kind of marble that then the way they decorate it, blah, 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 they do these things overseas. And I don't recall, I think his was coming from India. I don't know, I can't remember now. But I don't think that ours came from India, but it's the same principle. On the boat, because I guess you can't really airmail a goddamn, marble, granite, fucking several ton item. On the boat over here, it got involved in, I think, the Hamas war, the terrorism, potentially pirates, who knows what's going on. And the ship was sunk and the fucking thing's at the bottom of the Red Sea. And now they're working on a replacement. But
it's gonna really fuck up the archaeologists in like 2,000 years when they find that, but no body.
Well, they're gonna think, oh my God, how did they get him down here?
What century could this have been from? When did they do this?
He obviously was one of the Greek gods,
one of the sea people that we've heard about.
Yes, Neptune and Denny Crum. But
Denny Crum of Atlantis, we salute you.
But no, it's ironic because the U of L colors are red, because the Louisville Cardinals are red, because Cardinals, the birds, are red, and he was the coach of a red team for all those years, and now he's at the well, he's not, but his monument is at the bottom of the Red Sea.
What kind of monument was he getting that they had to ship it from over there?
Well, that's why it's. I mean, it's not like it's a goddamn giant, monolith you're thinking about. But no, when you do the nice tombstones, as we regular folks used to call them, but still they weigh a couple of tons if you have like a double header, and they have better marbles and materials and engraving, and they can do things over there, and they can do them in it more inexpensively, and so many of these monuments come from various places other than the United States. Have you ever seen some guy in Cleveland doing quality work on a tombstone?
I don't know. On Long Island, we had to find people at Sprung Monuments.
Sprung?
Sprung. They went to school with my father. Stephen Sprung went to school with my father, so that's how I know them. Very nice people, though. Took care of multiple dead relatives of mine.
There is
Stones arrived on time. No pirates. That's the Sprung way.
But there's some line involving getting sprung from a cemetery that I can't think of right now. But was you know what? God dang it, sprung. I'll go with it. How about be hung with sprung? No, that wouldn't work because that's the method.
Why?
Well, that's the method of execution. So that if you would be more planted, you'd be buried with Harry's. Well, nevertheless.
That's again. Well, let's just clarify from our good friends at Harry's. This has nothing to do with them.
No, it's a completely different Harry, unless he, decided to diversify, and we can't ever blame these big business typhoons for spreading out.
Do you think when Harry from Harry's is buried, like, it has to be well kept? The plot, right? Like, they can't let anything grow. I mean, that would be just
not lost like we have lost the plot.
What is this, your show? This is your show.
Yeah.
That means it's your fault.
That's some things that have been going on, ladies and gentlemen.